Hi, Chris Hanna, Mayor of Marion, with news about this week's General Council meeting. First of all, I can tell you that we have decided to move ahead with transferring all of our sedan vehicle fleet to electric vehicles. So currently we do have a couple of electric vehicles, but we have 39 that we're now going to change over to electric as they become due for replacement. This was seen to be the most effective way of doing it. And there's still plenty of unknowns in the electric vehicle market. Surely they're going to just get better and better over the next few years. So gradually, over the next 5 years, we'll replace those 39 vehicles that are currently in our passenger vehicle fleet. We would love to do more with trucks and earth movers and things like that. But the fact is they just aren't on the market yet. But I'm sure they will come on the market in due course. Secondly, I can talk about the Southern Soccer pitch. We're pitching for a fourth pitch at the Southern Soccer facility where Cove Football Club, Cove FC, have their home base. But at the moment, their women's team have to play on the other side of the hill, literally, some distance away, because there just aren't enough spaces for all of their teams to play. So we want to bring all of Cove FC back together, including the women's team. So I was so thrilled to hear Premier Malinauskas announce that there would be $18 million available for women's sport through a special fund created after the Matildas' stunning passage through the World Cup matches. So we think that Marion Council, being about 1/18 of the state's population, ought to have 1/18 of that special fund. And with $1 million from the state government, we could roll out that pitch any time and bring all of the Cove FC, including their women's teams, back to the one base. Then I'd like to talk about the development at the racecourse. There are hundreds of new homes planned around the tram line where the Morphettville racecourse is. And of course, this will present some problems for the residents between the racecourse and Marion Road. There are bound to be traffic impacts. We don't know the full story yet of what they're going to be, but residents are understandably concerned. So we're monitoring the situation. We've taken traffic counts of the current situation, but we're yet to receive further details from the developers about where exactly the traffic will go and what they think the impact will be. So it's a situation we're monitoring and we'll keep the public informed about it. Speaking of developments, we actually have put out a few major planning changes for public consultation. One is a relatively focused one on the little neighbourhood centres that you see dotted around the suburbs. There are some anomalies there where houses are in a shopping zone and shops are in a housing zone, so we're trying to fix that up. Of more significance is the Morphettville racecourse area where we have stables in amongst the residential homes. And way back in the 1990s, a zone was created to somewhat restrict the activities of the stables, just so that they could be good neighbours to those people who had homes next door. But we're looking at reviewing the whole situation and allowing a bit more development in that area. It may encourage some of the stables to sell up and leave altogether, and it'll bring that little part of Morphettville into the same zoning that the rest of Morphettville residential has. So it's not a decision, it's out for consultation. And then in the southern suburbs, that is south of O'Halloran Hill, we're talking about a rezoning which would actually allow slightly more subdivision. So whereas in the northern part of the Marion Council district, we've actually tried to restrict subdivision because it's got too ugly in a lot of our suburban streets, in many cases in the southern suburbs, we could actually do with a little bit more of it, where we've got perhaps 1950s or 1960s homes, which could be subdivided into 2 blocks. So again, no decision on that, but it will be out for consultation very shortly. And finally, something about the Felmary development. It's been notorious in the media recently where the Felmary Building Group, or one of the companies, went broke and left about 20 home builders in the lurch. So this little site just off South Road has a private driveway leading to about 20 new homes, but they're not finished. And it's been agony for the home builders as they try and seek some sort of compensation or some way through to get their homes finished. There's builders insurance, council is happy to help with deferral of rates if there is hardship. But the state government, I'm glad to say, has come to the party with $1 million to help finish the driveway that services the homes. There was discussion at the council meeting because one of the councillors thought that the ratepayers should be excused from paying rates at all until their homes are finished. The majority view, though, was that although the hardship provisions may apply and people may apply to defer the payment of rates, that they shouldn't be excused from rates entirely. And the reason is because we get over 100 hardship applications a year. Each case is unique. Some people can't afford to go to the dentist. Some people can't afford to have their gas heater fixed, and yet they're asset-rich, income-poor. They own property and have to pay rates, but they may not have any cash in the bank. So there are many such cases, and on balance we thought if we start opening the floodgates by allowing people to be excused from paying rates, well, there'll be so many people knocking on the door, wouldn't you? So what we decided is that we'll stick with the hardship policy, and those people who have applied and can demonstrate hardship, they can have their rates deferred until they're in a better financial position. So that's the wrap up from the council meeting this week.